It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
At an Arizona event a few days ago, there was a backstage camera angle that caught this on the teleprompter as Republican Senate candidate Kari Lake was speaking. As you see there, it says minus 5:35, meaning you are 5 minutes and 35 seconds over your allotted time. And then it says underneath, please get off the stage. But then look, almost a minute later, there's this other shot. She's now, what does it say? Minus 6:23. So she's now 6 minutes and 23 seconds over her allotted time. And now the instruction to her says, please get off stage, Trump waiting. This was the same event when Trump got an endorsement from an Arizona police union. And while the union president was making his pro-Trump remarks and basically giving the endorsement, it seems like Trump got bored or annoyed or something. He just kind of crept up on the guy and was looming over his shoulder and frowning at him while the guy was speaking. At one point, he leans in and he apparently tells this guy that he needs to get lost and get off the stage. And the police union guy appears a little rattled by this, maybe even a little startled, starts flipping through his pages quickly, gets his stuff together, and then awkwardly slinks off because Trump told him to get out. That's a nice way to receive an endorsement. That was on Friday at an event in Glendale, Arizona. And now today, that same police union announced that they're endorsing the Democratic U.S. Senate candidate in Arizona, the guy who's running against Republican Kari Lake. That same police union is endorsing Democratic U.S. Congressman and combat veteran Ruben Gallego. I mean, they had already given Trump his endorsement, so presumably that one couldn't be reeled back in. But, you know, if this situation here, if this was Trump trying to turn on the charm to also get this union's endorsement for the Republican Senate candidate he was ostensibly there to support, well, we all know how good he is at sharing the glory, right? Sharing the spotlight. Get off stage, Trump waiting.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. I don't know, can you guys hear me? I don't know why the mic is not going on. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. With the mic, anyhow. Well, let me know if you guys can hear me. I mean, you might be just picking it up off this mic, or if you're picking it up off this mic. Jolie said it sounds good. Are you hearing it through the? Which mic do you think you're hearing it? Is it from the actual phone, or is it from the mic here? Because it's just got a flashing green light. It should be a solid green light. So everyone's saying loud and clear. I guess we'll go with it. So good morning, everybody. I don't know why it's flashing. It's supposed to be a solid green light. Anyhow, just looking at the chat, we've got Fancy. Looks like Fancy was first. So thanks for being in the chat and waiting patiently to get started. Teresa's here. Hello, Teresa. And we got Tamara Price over here in Truckers Lounge. Michael Andrews is here. Michael says, sure, the COVID made me sick, but listening to Dumpy Trump makes me sicker. Yeah, I hear you on that one. Jeannie's here. Good to see Jeannie. Fancy's got live chat on. Okay, ready to go. Michael says, because Fancy asked how Michael's feeling. Mike says, I'm feeling better. Fancy, still a little weak, but definitely getting better. That's good to hear that you're on the mend. We got Midas Kevin Anderson here. I was not late. It's 9:12. That's normal. And I started like way earlier with the intro thing, so that's not late. Yeah, your clocks are fast, probably. I don't know. Let's see who else. We got Roxanne Armfield. Good morning to Roxanne. And James Williams is here. All right. Good to see all you guys in here. And Josh is here. Hello, Josh. Welcome on in to the Driver's Lounge. Mike H is here. Mike H says that guy had a 20-page speech referring to the opening there from the other day. when the head of the police union there gave Trump his endorsement. You think, I guess maybe he thought that bought him enough time, to do his 27-page speech. And you saw that they were so pissed off at the way he was treated, they went ahead and endorsed the Democrat against Kari Lake. I don't think it's too late for them to retract their endorsement of Trump, regardless of what Rachel Maddow was saying. Just go ahead and retract it. Hey, Fancy, give it a membership. Thanks, Fancy. Thanks for the support. And Paul Sharkey Mannion got it. Look at there. It's always fun to see who's going to get it. When someone does that. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Deborah says she can hear me, so okay. Teresa says loud and clear. James says sound is good. Tap the mic. Can you guys hear me tapping the mic? Everybody can hear me. See, I don't think it's even on now, huh? I think it's just the I don't know what the hell. Oh, you know what? I forgot to plug this into the phone. That's the problem. Okay, now it should be working. All right. Now I got the solid green light. Okay, now, even though you could hear me before, hopefully you can still hear me. Now we're on the mic. Did you hear that slurp? Oh, shoot. My plate that had basically just crumbs, because I devoured 2 beautiful donuts while the intro was playing. And now the plate tipped over and it had crumbs on it. And now I got crumbs all over the floor. So I got to make sure I clean that up as soon as we're done here. Teresa says, yes, listening and seeing DJT makes anyone want to barf. I just can't wait for him to get his ass kicked in November and then just spend the rest of his rotten life in courts getting found guilty over and over and over again, and then hopefully ending up in prison somewhere. I guess I still got this lingering cold. I don't know what's going on with that, but Carolina says hotter in Hades here. I'm back from, I guess it's physical therapy, torn tendons in the hip. Ouch. Now got to get water on. Well, yeah, that doesn't sound fun. So hopefully you get that going there with your physical therapy. Jobama Kamalama Bot 2000 says dipping in to say hi in between jobs. Hi, y'all. Hey, Joe. I'll just call you Joe for short for now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for dipping in, giving us that thumbs up. Go ahead and share the show while you're at it, too. Josh says, this afternoon here, I've moved on from coffee. This is my morning cup right here. I was sleeping so good and so hard that I slept all the way up to the alarm. Usually I wake up, way before the alarm. But today I just slept all the way, and so I'm a little groggy. but I just now had two beautiful donuts. Oh, I have a donut story. I have a story about those donuts, and I'm going to tell it. Okay, so I got these donuts last night. I wasn't planning on getting donuts, but I needed to charge. Usually, I don't charge until after I'm done driving. But yesterday, I did some early driving. I wanted to try out some new times and whatever. And then, but then once I started, I thought, well, I'm still going to keep going until midnight, or at least midnight, anyhow. So it was 9:45, I think, and I was near a charger, and I was down to like 23%. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just go to this charger and charge up for a few minutes. I don't have to do a full charge, but 10, 15 minutes, that'll give me more than enough that I would need to do the next couple hours of driving. And so yeah, I go to the Red Rock Casino out in Summerlin, a very nice casino. It's one of the STN station casinos. And so anyhow, I plug in, I walk into the casino, use the restroom. I was just planning on taking a little potty break. Wasn't planning on eating or anything. But then I'm walking through the casino and I look over and I see this this restaurant, it's like a fast food place or whatever, and it says donuts and chicken. It was Federal. I think it was called Federal Donuts and Chicken, and that stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, okay, I've heard of like waffles and chicken. I never heard of donuts and chicken. And I was just like, I'm like, before I knew it, I was just walking across because it was like across the other side of the part of a gaming floor, right, or whatever. And so next thing I know, I'm on a beeline to it, and I'm just thinking to myself, they had me at donuts. I didn't even get to the chicken part, So anyhow, I get up there, and they've got some donuts. They have a little case with the donuts, and it's got three shelves, and then each shelf has like three trays of donuts. They've got like dark chocolate glaze. It's the one that I ended up ordering. They had this one. I wish I probably should have saved it to show you. They had the one that I had just now was delicious. It's called red raspberry something. I don't know. I had all these different flavors of donuts, and all looked really good. So, but I ended up just getting the chocolate one because I'm a chocolate person, and a coffee. And I thought, let's get a coffee. And so, and it was like when I ordered, it was like 9:59. Apparently, I didn't even realize that they closed at 10. But the guy goes, he takes my order, and he was a really nice kid, really nice guy, and because he had already put away all the cream and sugar, and he brought the cream and sugar out for me, so I could put that in my coffee. And then as I was doing that, the lights of the little business all shut off. I go, oh, you guys are closing up, huh? And he's like, yeah, that's it. You're the last customer. And then he goes, in fact, if you want, is there any other donuts you want? And I wasn't sure if he was saying, like if I wanted to buy any or if he was giving them away for free. So I just sort of go, I'm good, thanks, And then we started talking about something else. I forget. There was some conversation going on that we were having. And then I go, so then I thought, I better ask him. And I'm like, did you mean those? You're giving those donuts away for free? And he goes, yeah. He goes, otherwise we're just going to throw them all out, And then I'm going. So then I'm trying to think, okay, because I don't want to look like I'm like some sort of pig or something, I'm like, but so I'm thinking I'll just get like one or two donuts. And I go, so what's your favorite donut? And he's talking about the donuts, And then I just go, oh, yeah, can I just get one of each? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure he would have given me every donut in that case if I wanted it, because it was like there must have been 100 donuts in there, because there was like 3 trays on each shelf, and each tray had probably at least a dozen donuts left. But I just go, hey, why don't you just give me one of each? He's like, yeah, no problem. So he's like bagging them up and puts them all in a bag for me. And so I go, hey, thanks, and I gave him a nice little tip, So I walk out with a bag full of these donuts, and So I went back to the car with my coffee, and of course I ate 2 donuts in the car. One was the chocolate one, and one was I think it was called Turtle. So just think of that if you think of like a turtle sundae. I guess it's a donut, but it was mainly kind of crumbly and it had some nuts on it, and um, you know, maybe a little bit of a peanut butter caramel kind of crunch or something. I don't know, but it's pretty good. They were very good donuts. So I had 2 of those last night. So now I had what I have like 4 left or something, I guess. And I just now ate that. It was like this red kind of raspberry flavor, I guess, and the red part is like kind of a thick, almost frosting or whatever. It was really good. I just had it; it's delicious. And then the other one I just had was I don't even know what it was, but it was really good, kind of crumbly, like a crumb kind of thing. But it was really good, and so that's what I had. That's my donut story. And so now, of course, if I'm ever there at around 9:50 or 9:55, I'm definitely going to time it so that the place, closes as I'm ordering, and then maybe I'll get another bag of free donuts. So there. Now, just picking up where I left off. Carol Alana's here says, "Hey there, Roxanne. Hugs to all sugar loving, sparkler loving. Gotta blow this thing election out of the solar system. Yeah, we all gotta vote, 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 vote." Mike H says that they can retract it, but going to support a Democrat is absurd. Now, didn't you say you were voting for Kamala? I know you must have been joking or whatever. But regardless, I think that means you lost your bet. I think you owed Jolie $10. Anyhow, um, I mean, I could just go. I could just say the same thing and just go, "No, vote for a Republican is absurd." The only thing is when I say it, it's true. Uh, James Williams says he was taking all Trump's talking points, like Hal says. Trump would screw up a free lunch. All he had to do was stand there and grin. Yeah, Trump is just the egomaniac. Much better sound, says Jolie. Teresa says, "Yes, I can. TJ, loud and clear." Okay. Chris Welch, better, less background noise. Yeah, that's the whole idea of getting the mic, apparently, because I was on the Tara Devlin show without a mic, and the first thing she said is, "Do you have a mic?" And I was like, "No." So it was like literally the next day, or maybe it was that same day, I forget. But I went and ordered this little guy. I do have a tiny mic, but I don't believe I suffer from tiny mic syndrome. So it is what it is. I got a tiny mic. Not much I can do about it right now. Maybe someday I can order a big one. I mean, a bigger one. Not a big one. But right now, it is what it is. It is what it is. Robin4419 is here. Hello, Robin. Good to see you. Call a dog. I know. I wish I had. That would be a good time to have a dog. I don't have a dog, but if I did, that dog would be all over it. Would be all over it. Let's see here. Minus Kevin Anderson, Chris Welch. I'm just looking at who is all here. Everyone's saying hello to each other. You guys are awesome. James Williams says, "The only thing I want to see about Trump will only be found in a history book." Michael McAndrews, is that a donut? Okay. The donuts are gone. Well, I do have a couple more left in the thing. I bagged them in Ziploc baggies to keep them fresh a little longer, I guess. Rob4419 loves coffee. The stronger, the better. Kevin Anderson says, "Obama for you, mama. Now Kamala is you, mama." Laughing out loud, Mamala. Walter McCurvich says, "Good morning, Trucker John. Did you order your new trading cards and assassination bobblehead doll? The grifting never ends." I did not. I have not. I've been remiss in ordering my new Donald Trump NFTs, and I didn't hear about the bobblehead, but that sounds like uh, a nice item to have in your shelf, in your shelving system, things of this nature. Michael McAndrews, don't put chicken in my waffles. Yeah, there was no chicken in the waffles, but I got to admit, the first donut, now the other donuts, I didn't notice this, but that first donut that I ate last night, the chocolate one, it was like a chocolate glaze or something they called it. My first bite, I almost thought, like, I can taste the chicken in this donut. Like, I don't know if they're cooking them in chicken grease or what, or somehow the chicken smell got into the donut. Or there was something about that first donut that was like, I think I can taste like chicken grease or something. I don't know. It was weird, but the other ones weren't that way though. Just that first one, it was weird. It was kind of weird. Kimchi's here. Hey, Kimchi, good to see you. Says hi, beautiful genius libs, Trucker John, gorgeous Jolie, fancy Walter, Teresa, Kevin. Well, thank you for being here, Kimchi. Good to see you. I'm just still kind of waking up and just saying hi to everybody. Josh says if it's not chocolate, it's a waste of a donut. Well, I am a total chocolate holic myself, but I did love these other flavors. I mean, these other, because all the rest of them, none of them were chocolate. Only that one, I think. Basically, but they were all delicious. I would go back. Like I said, I'm gonna time it 9:59. And it'll be like, hey, I was thinking, I was already running the scenario through my head, like, if I go back again at 9:59, and it'll be a different person there, who's not so nice, and then I'll be like, oh, so closing up, huh? Just kind of like trying to drop a hint, So, what are you gonna do with those donuts? Minus Kevin Anderson says John McAndrews chicken and waffles equals Louisiana soul food. Yeah, chicken and waffles, but this is donut and waffles. That's the thing. I've heard of chicken and waffles all over the place. I've had chicken and waffles, but when they said donuts, it said donuts and chicken. I was like, really? I never saw that before. Chris Welch, donuts. Yeah, donuts. All right, Homer, settle down. Fancy says, "Go Dodgers." Yeah. Hey, there's William. William's here. Hey, look at there, Mike H. Oh, Mike, $9.99. Well, you're a penny short, Mike. You're a penny short. So this is for Jolie. Mike H. Well, thanks for the support. Thanks for you guys. You guys are, through your little funny things, have now contributed, both of you, to the show. So thank you very much, Mike. Let's see. But you didn't really have to do that. I was just joking around. But thank you. Anyhow. Rob 4419 says my dad was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan and then an LA Dodgers fan. Of course, Mets too. I guess that did happen a lot. Like people from New York, they were still Dodger fans, but then when the Mets were the new team that came in after them, so a lot of people became Mets fans also. I get that. It's hard to give up, like a loyalty, I guess, to a team. Lord knows I tried. When the Rams moved to St. Louis, I had already been a huge Rams fan my entire life. I mean, it's always been Rams since I was a little kid, since the '60s, back when Roman Gabriel, the late great Roman Gabriel, was playing, and then some years later, I would play a football game against his son, who was a quarterback, and I sacked that son, Roman Gabriel's son. So and Roman Gabriel was there watching the game, and came out on the field afterwards and congratulated us for winning. But I sacked Roman Gabriel's son. At least I got dad. At least I got dad going for me. You know. But yeah, I've been a Rams fan my whole life. And then when they moved to St. Louis, I was so pissed and so angry. I tried to follow. I think Arizona was here by then. The Cardinals. I think we're already in Arizona. I tried following them. I was like, no, there was no way in hell I was ever going to be a 49ers fan. I kind of like the Chargers, and I would try to get interest in the Chargers, and I still kind of like the Chargers, but it was just nothing stuck, and I couldn't really get into these other teams, and I found myself always end up watching Rams highlights, or a lot of times it was low lights. They went through a pretty bad period before the greatest show on turf, but and so I eventually just said, okay, I guess I'm just a Rams fan, even though they're in St. Louis, because I keep the thing that sort of perks my ears up or gets my attention is the Rams highlights, where the other teams I'm really not that interested in. So I was like, all right, I'm still a Rams fan. And then they were in St. Louis for like 20 years or whatever. And to this day, I hate Georgia Frontiere. I think she's a C word. And I think she may have had her husband murdered, Carol Rosenblum, who was the owner of the Rams. And she was married to him. And I know this sounds conspiratorial, but and I'm not the only one though. A lot of people think that she had him murdered because he drowned at the beach in about like 2 feet of water where he was just standing out, and then all of a sudden he just disappears in the water and he drowns. And a lot of people think that there was like these scuba diver hitmen that came in from the from the ocean and just grabbed his legs and pulled him under and drowned his ass. And it sounds logical to me. Sounds very feasible to me. Because then once he died, he was out of the way. Then she took over the team and she moved it to St. Louis. So not only is she a C word, she's probably a fucking murderer. She's dead now, so can't slander the dead. But legally can't libel the dead. So I can say whatever the fuck I want about that C word, B word. Anyhow, I hate her. They say don't speak ill of the dead. Well, no, fuck that. I hate Georgia Frontiere. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. For moving the Rams. She didn't have to move the Rams. Rams are, just because it's, we're not selling out every game. They're still one of the most successful teams in the NFL. One of the most popular teams in LA. Number 2 media market in the country. It should never have been allowed. It should never have been allowed. Carol Alana says, I want to see Dumpy Perp walk into prison and the bars close on his orange, disgusting rear end. You and me both, and I think a lot of us want to see Trump behind prison bars. Fancy says, I want to braid Trucker John's long hair. I do need a haircut. My last haircut, I went over a year before I got it. Now I'm at about, I think over 6 months now, probably 7 or 8 months. I definitely need a haircut. I need to get in there. I need to get my ass into the fucking place. Get my haircut. I don't want to go another, 13 months or whatever it was on my last one. Minus Kevin Anderson says, Carol equal chicken flavored Long John with a side of salsa, laughing out loud. Walter McGregor says, J.D. Vance made a fool of himself on campaign trail yesterday. Nothing really happened in Arlington, nothing at all. Oh, that whole Arlington thing, Walter. Thanks for bringing that up, and welcome. If I didn't say welcome earlier, to the driver's lounge, but I mean, on the last show, this show, I didn't really put a theme to it, I guess, but um, on the last show, we were talking about the rats leaving, jumping ship, the sinking ship, and how so many Republicans were coming over and not only saying that they're not going to vote for Trump, but actually saying they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. And Trump's base, I think, is getting smaller and smaller. People even in his base are starting to go, "What? This guy is losing it. I mean, he's lost it. He's totally out of it." And people are leaving that. And now with this thing at Arlington, there's so many veterans, and completely justified in being so just disgusted with the Trump campaign, with Trump, and specifically going in there and making using those grave sites as a political backdrop, and then standing there with this goofy thumbs up and all that bullshit. It has pissed off so many veterans, and I think he's already losing a lot of the veteran vote, and the military vote, in general. But I think this is that Arlington thing is going to lose him so much more support. That didn't make sense. There's going to be so much more support loss. He's going to lose a lot because of that. That Arlington fiasco. It might be bigger than we think as far as support. He's going to lose a lot of military folks because of that. And again, he's just who was it? Who's talking about shooting himself in the foot? One of the other shows I was watching, I forget who now, but yeah, it's just Trump is just continuing to shoot himself in the foot, and I say, fine, let him keep shooting himself in the foot. Carol Alana says, Michael McAndrews, sorry to hear about COVID. I hear Dr. Redliner on Steph Miller's show, new variant bad news, and they're working on another variant vax. This will never be over because Donnie messed it up, or Dumpy messed it up. Yeah, and it was intentional. He intentionally downplayed it. He intentionally didn't do everything, and I'm just reading Jolie. He says, Chuck John, Mike totally did have to do that. Okay. All right. Yeah, because Mike, sounds like he kind of backtracked there or whatever. Jolie, you cracked me up. Michael McAndrews says it was bad last week, but now it's just a little chest cold thing. Roxanne says, all Vance has to do is open his mouth to appear foolish. If for no other reason, Donald Trump needs to lose so that motherfucker, J.D. Vance, is not just a heartbeat away. Could you imagine J.D. Vance as fucking president? I mean, that alone should be disqualifying, or that should, with a lot of voters. I mean, just that alone. Can you imagine? I mean, it's the same scary thought of what's her face from Canada, the Canadian from Alaska. That's all Canada, right? What's her face with McCain? Why am I brain farting on her name? But a lot of people were afraid of that too, of her being a heartbeat away from the presidency. Carolina says, "Oh my, Roman Gabriel, awesome story. I remember him. Yeah, he just passed away, I think, earlier this year. Just passed away. He was a pretty good guy. Carolina, I'm still a Broncos fan. I'm a Coloradan forever, no matter where I physically exist." Yeah, it's hard to give up your teams that you've been like, especially if you've been following them since you were a kid. Like I've been following the Rams and the Dodgers since I was a little kid. So I can't quit them now. Now that I live in Nevada. I will say though, I've always been a Raider hater. I've never liked them, but I do find that I do kind of watch the Raiders a little bit. I do kind of root for them a little bit. Okay, it just sort of, you know, when you live in the hometown of a team, it just sort of, you know, it just sort of gets in your system or whatever. It's like I'm not really a hockey fan, but now all of a sudden I'm Golden Knights all the way, man, all the way, man. Music is here. Hey, music, good to see you. By the way, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share for me. It says, is Hal going live today? I believe so. Now, normally, would come on today at 4 p.m. and that's why I do a 3 p.m. for an hour, a little warm up show, a little warm up hangout, get together type of thing before the show comes on at. So we go on at 3. As you can see, the schedule is over here. Yeah, over there. As you can see on the schedule. Now I know Hal has been doing these Project 2025 videos, so I don't know if he's going to pop in early. I really don't know that because yesterday he was doing that where he just popped up early and started doing those Project 2025. He might do that again today, and then he'll probably go off the air and because he does his family phone time thing at 3 p.m. on Thursdays, and then he'll come back on at 4. So I'm pretty sure that's for sure the 4 o'clock thing is still happening. As far as if he's going to come on early and do a Project 25, I don't know. I think he is, but I don't know for sure. So I guess you just got to keep your eyes peeled open. Yeah, that was weird. Anyhow, Josh says, fancy. I was once standing in line behind a guy who was flirting with the cashier, and he was bemoaning his long-haired liberal brother. I asked him if he has a problem with long hair. Do you have long hair, Josh? Or did you go? So when you said it, did you go, "Hey, you got a problem with long hair?" Or did you go, "Do you have a problem with long hair?" I'm just wondering, what was the tone? That's all I'm wondering. Oh, so Josh continues. He turned around and just about crapped himself. Okay, I'm dying to hear the rest of that story. I'm assuming he turned around because you have really long hair, and I don't know. Oh, Carolina, yeah, 2 feet of water. That is suspicious. Oh yeah, totally. I mean, and the guy was supposedly an avid swimmer. I mean, he was up in age. I think he was late 60s or something. They said, but he was in great shape. He was an avid swimmer. He lived at the beach. He always would go out and swim in the water or whatever. And then all of a sudden he drowns in 2 feet of water. Kim, she says, I understand men need an outlet for their exuberance since they no longer hunt, but I despise the deification of athletes and the mob mentality of sports. And I think that's an overgeneralization. And there certainly is a group of people that take, I think, sports fandom too far. That's for sure. But I don't think everyone should be lumped into that group. Rob 4419 says Letitia James is going after the 500 million today. Good. Start impounding or whatever property. Start not impounding. What do you call it? Putting liens on, I guess, on properties and stuff. Kim, she says my daughter needs to trim my hair and add highlights. Not paying $300 because I have long hair. Rip off. That's a lot of money. I go to Sports Clips. It's like $16 or something. I think. Michael McAndrews, 300. That's a lot of food coloring. A few snips. Search for you is here. Hey, good to see search for you. It says now losing the firefighters that booed him off the stage. Was that firefighters or or was that a different event? Because like the one where the guy was talking, I thought that was a police one. But yeah, so I didn't see that. But yeah, I think he's losing support all over the place. Trump is. So, like I say, just let him keep shooting himself in the foot. You know, at this point, he's doing all the own damage to himself. You know. Oh, so search for you says just happened. I didn't want to leave here to go watch. Oh, so the firefighter thing just happened. Wow. Good. Boo is fucking. People need to. That's the one part where Obama says, "Don't boo, vote." If you're at a Trump rally, go ahead and boo and vote. We can do both, Barack. We can do both. We can boo and vote. Especially for booing Trump. We can boo Trump, and then we can go vote blue for all the things that are dear to you. See how I did that? Let's see here. I'm way behind. It says Kimchi says, nice, Kev. Why don't Midas ask how to join? He is better than most of their hosts, in my opinion. Maybe he doesn't want to be a part of that network. I don't really like that network, is one of the truth. I don't like all their commercialism. They're way too commercial. They have millions and millions of followers, and yet they have to have all these fucking commercials like that they read, like live reads and shit. That just is a turnoff to me. Let's see. Hey, Robert Perez is here. Good to see Robert. Thanks for joining us here in the driver's lounge. Says, good morning, Trucker John, and all lovely truckers out and about. Well, thank you for being here, Robert. Always good to see Robert in the old driver's lounge. Carol Alana says, and Shady Vance, disgusting word. Most likely Sarah Palin, by the way, is who I was trying to think of. And most would become POTUS. Don't be one Big Mac short of a major infarction. And dirt nap time, that's what they're counting on. Yeah, so that's a scary thought of JD Vance. I mean, the man's a moron. I'm not sure who's more stupid, Trump or Vance. They're running pretty neck and neck as far as being morons. And it just goes to show, you can have a big fancy Yale degree or whatever. Where'd Vance go, to Yale? It doesn't mean shit if you're going to be a fucking asshole. Fancy is a Chargers fan. I know that. Fancy's all Chargers. All Chargers all the time. Devin Murphy says, start selling off Trump property. Yeah. So I think they have to put liens on it. And then then there's a time period for the lien to be met. And then if Trump doesn't, pay up, then the property will go to auction. Right? Robert says, hey, Fancy, I'm a Chargers fan too. Josh says, oh, I just laughed and said it's all good. Oh, so what? Okay, so was that the last thing you said? I mean, did I miss something? Because the last I read is the guy turned around and crapped his pants, or nearly crapped his pants. So I was just wondering, like, was it just because you said something, or what? Yeah, he's about crapping himself. We don't know what you look like, Josh. We don't know if you have long, beautiful hair everywhere, long, beautiful hair, or what? You got to paint us a picture. Fancy says, bolt up, baby. Robert Perez bolted down. All right. The bolts are in the chat. Carolina, I've quit watching and I'm of corporate media, YouTube, and internet reliable sources now. And I was watching Stephanie Miller the last part of it as I woke up, and they were showing. I guess it was a previous show, of course, with Brooklyn Dad Defiant on there, and Stephanie had mentioned how, um, you know, at the DNC, how internet, creators and influencers were really given like a lot of access, which was really great. And I thought, so it just reminded me of the 2016 campaign where Hillary and her campaign, and I know that Randy Rhodes has talked about this a lot in the past, about how they didn't really address or utilize the internet. I don't know if you guys can hear. There's a fucking lawnmower or something, even though the whole area is all dirt. I don't know. I don't. There's a couple of patches of weeds. I guess they're mowing the patches of weeds. Anyhow, I don't know if you guys can hear that more or not. But how the Hillary campaign really kind of ignored the internet and didn't utilize it the way that Trump and the Russians were using it. That was the whole thing, right? It was this misinformation campaign, influence campaign, was carried out in large part through the internet. And God damn it, I hope you guys can't hear that. Like I said, it's a big dirt area. I wish they would grow grass because I hate all the dirt. Well, anyhow, the guy's out there mowing the dirt. I don't know if that's coming up on the mic or not. And so I think one of the lessons learned, because we talk about Hillary's campaign a lot and how they messed up or whatever, and like I said, there was an autopsy done on that campaign, and one of the things I think they must have said, hey, the internet is here, folks, let's use it. And so they realized the value of a Brooklyn Dad Defiant, a JoJo from Jers, a Trucker John. Apparently not Trucker John because Trucker John was not invited, but even like Adam Mockler and all these folks, these influencers. So I think that's a good sign that the Democratic Party is finally embracing the internet and social media. Hey, Jupiter Judy's here. Good to see Jupiter Judy. Thanks for jumping into the driver's lounge. Okay, so Josh was saying that he's 6'2" and rocks a ponytail. Okay, so Josh is kind of a big guy, got the long hair going, and kind of put that dude in his place, who was apparently making fun of people with long hair, guys with long hair. Yeah. So it says, so he's 6'2". So now I know. Now I know why. I mean, why the guy almost shit his pants. Michael McAndrews on 5'5" with long hair and fuck the bullies. There you go. Yeah, Josh says that it was a tangent from Fancy's hair braiding comment. See, that's how things go. We go off on these tangents. But that's okay. It's all right. Kimchi says, Vance is so smart he can easily play dumb and justify any stupid utterance of the orange offal. But the thing is, I don't think he is playing dumb. Or at least, I'm sure there's some of that.
But when you see him going into the donut store, talk about donut stores. I got my donut story. I think my donut story was much better than Vance's. At least I was able to have a conversation with the person, and the person didn't look like they were like, dude, just leave me alone, you know. I mean, he was a nice kid, and we had a nice conversation. I can't imagine JD Vance having a nice conversation with anybody, not even his wife and kids. These people are talk about weirdos. I don't know. I shouldn't get into that, I guess, but I mean, okay, you want to be the vice president of the United States, and Trump wants to be the president again. You should, I don't know, you should have some basic ability to have a meaningful conversation, or even if it's like something that's not serious, like getting donuts or whatever. But you should, I don't know, you shouldn't be where everyone in there feels creeped out by you. You know, I think that's a problem. And I think Donald Trump creeps out a lot of people, and I think JD Vance creeps out a lot of people just because they're weird and awkward, and they can't have a conversation to save their fucking lives. You know? Carol Long says, so much talent with YouTube internet creators. DNC dialed in and has that figured out. Why getting more youthful candidates save this election, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. We just got to show up and vote. Make sure we vote. Make sure you're registered. Get vote.org. Especially if you live in Texas or Florida or any red state. Make sure. Richard says, LA Dodgers fan. Nah. I'm just wearing the hat and the shirt. And even my show card has a Bitmoji of me in Dodger gear. But nah. Jupiter Judy says, you don't go to get donuts in the afternoon. Right there, that should have told you something. Kimchi says, social intelligence is different than IQ. Yeah, ask me how I know. How do you know that? Hey, Richard is watching from Australia. It's 3 a.m. Well, thank you, Richard. Mate. For watching us at 3 a.m. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Carolina says, yeah, Shady told his 4-year-old, shut the hell up. Yeah, and he tells that story like with glee or something. Like, oh, I'm gonna win a lot of people over with this story about how I told my 4-year-old to shut the fuck up. They're gonna love this one. And then then he's gonna talk about his mama or whatever, with how his mama was gonna shoot the recruiter or something. James Williams says, my question is, how do we explain to our children how this could happen, or how that could happen? I know. I guess we warn them about the dangers of propaganda, maybe, and to try to not just believe everything, without doing some kind of checking on things. You know what I mean? Richard said Harrison Walls will soon be dancing a waltz together. I believe so. We just got to vote, because the motto this year, when we fight, we win. And when I think of fight in that terms, I'm thinking of voting. Okay, when we vote, we win. When we show up, we win. When we come out in big numbers, huge numbers, we win more than we lose. Let's just put it that way. Um, Josh says, "Yet to see a single right-wing talented creator." Yeah, all the talent's over here on this side, starting right here. No. Kimchi is flirting with Rob. Kimchi, you big flirt. Carolina, Richard from Oz, good on you, mate. Oh yeah, Richard. That's right. They call Australia Oz, apparently. The land of Oz. Let's see. Kimchi says, I'm brain damaged from my mother's alcoholism. I am an idiotic genius. And yet, I bet you're still a million times more, I don't know, sociable than JD Vance. James Wayne says, Moscow Mitch found that turd Vance and polished it for decades. Has JD Vance been around for decades? He's not that old. He's only been in the Senate for 2 years, I think. Right? He just won in 2020. That's his only experience. 2 years of Senate experience, and that's it. Jupiter Judy at Veril. I'm 67. Me too younger is better. My eyes on an old problem. I don't know. I guess I missed. I don't know who Veril. Who's Veril? Hey, Bonnie Agliata's here. Good to see Bonnie. I guess I skipped down and I missed somebody. I don't know who Veril is. I don't see Veril in here. But if there's a Veril in the chat, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Oh, Carol. Okay. I do see Carol. I should have figured that out. I'm sorry. Kimchi says smoking causes low birth weight. Alcohol causes irreversible brain damage. Richard, in the land down under. Hey, Mad Max here. Slava Ukraini. Mad Mac, thanks for joining us as we chit chat here a little bit. We're just chit chatting. I still got my stupid cough. Jupiter Judy says full back replaced with 6 surgeries, or I'd be in a wheelchair. 2 old style knee replacements and reverse shoulder replacement. Wow. Jupiter Judy, $6 million woman. Or yeah, but Kim says Judy is I should have said bionic woman. That way we don't have to go $6 million. That's nothing to that. It's like $3 million. Ooh. You know, or how does he do that? Dr. Evil, you know. Anyhow, Jupiter Judy, I clink when I walk, at least in my head. Here comes Judy. Like clink, 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 clink. Kimchi says, Richard, please take Murdoch back. He's destroying our country. Why is that guy still alive? Why? Michael McAndrews, I watched the whole thing for at least 50 years, Richard. Hard to believe what happened. Here in Australia, we wouldn't put up with the likes of Donald Trump type character. I don't know what you missed. I don't know. Anyhow, James Williams, I am painfully aware of the effects FAS causes, or so many people for the fetal alcohol syndrome. Jupiter Judy says, Richard, we finally got people who are seeing him for the evil he is. A lot of us have seen it, but it takes a long time for like the masses for it to work through its way. This type of stuff to work its way through the masses. And now more and more of the masses are seeing what just a grifter and a con man and really a felon. I mean, you would think that the 34 felonies would be enough, but it just takes a while for all this, I guess, to filter down through the masses. And I do think that Trump's base is getting smaller and smaller. And every day that he keeps shooting himself in the foot, that's less support, I think. And that's what we saw. I didn't. I should have put in my library here about all these states that are changing from likely Republican to toss up, and then some of the toss up states have gone to likely Democrat, right? And then the ones that were likely Democrat have gone to like full blue, like purple is going to blue and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's completely flipped. The script has been flipped, and I think we are in we are going to see this here. We're going to be able to say to MAGA, hey, MAGA, get used to saying, Madam President. All these states are flipping. This has a potential of being a freaking blowout. And I'm all for it. A blowout in favor, of course, of Kamala Harris. Carol Lana says, Russia has over 70 years of psyops, disinformation, propaganda experience, and knows how to manipulate Americans. FBI tried to recruit from high school for Russia language and knowledge, 29 Palms, California. Yeah, Russia has a lot. That's probably their area of expertise. Apparently, way more than actual fighting, as we're seeing in how they're handling Ukraine and getting their asses kicked over there. But I think we have learned a lot since 2016. But we have to remain vigilant. That's for sure. We got to remain vigilant. And not just believe everything you hear on the internet and taking it as gospel truth. Andrew Petrie's here. Good to see Andrew. Andrew says, I dropped a full bottle of pure Canadian maple syrup on the floor. Hi, regardless. Well, sorry to hear about that. Number one, because, I mean, maple syrup is good on your pancakes and your waffles and your French toast. So that's sad. And then also the cleanup. That's probably no fun. A big sticky mess. Josh called in the dog. That seems to be Josh's answer to a lot of things. Bringing the dog, Judy says, oh yeah, I didn't get any special chips. Can't run. Can't see down the street. Can't hear a mic away. But I'm good with what I got. Yeah, nothing bionic there. Nothing extra. Carolina and Russia has so much dirt and compromise on GOP and Trump. Got him by the short and curlies. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Why is, traitors like Ron Johnson and Mitch McConnell, Moscow Mitch, and even, and Lindsay, Lady Lindsay, they must have so much on those guys. I think. I don't know. Why else? Bariagliata says, I guess donkey for Democrat, blue for Democrat, landslide. I think so. I think we're in for it. We're in for a big showing. Like I said, when we show up, we win. When we show up in big, huge numbers, we win. So let's show up in big, huge numbers. Kamala Harris, Richard says Kamala Harris would make history as the first female POTUS. Yes, absolutely. Michael McAndrews says Kamala will be a great president. I believe so. I believe so too. Andrew Petrie says, "Oh well, $35. $35 for the syrup. That shit's expensive for that Canadian shit. You get the good Canadian shit, eh? You're gonna pay top dollar, eh? We're not talking Aunt Jemima, which is what I use, which is like $4. Carol Lana says absolutely. We eventually catch on. All die mad about 2016. Yeah, that's the thing is for those of us that are enlightened, like moi here, you know, for those of us that are really ahead of the crowd, like myself, it gets a little frustrating when we see all these dummies out there. Like it's like, come on, man. Jupiter Judy says, did you guys hear about the FBI guy who got inside the KKK and worked his way up and has tried to tell Governor DeSantis who is ignoring him? Another coup attempt is what the KKK wants. I didn't hear about that. I did not. I saw that movie about the one with what's his face? With Adam, the guy who played Star Wars guy. And where he infiltrated KKK, and then they had to use this other, even though like the white guy had been talking to them, I guess through the internet or through phone calls and stuff, they didn't know he was a white guy, or they didn't know he. Oh no! Oh, it was the other way around. Yeah, it was a black guy. It was the black guy who infiltrated, and but they didn't know he was a black guy, and so then they had to use the Adam guy, whatever his name is, when they actually did they set up where he would actually go to the meetings and stuff. It was a good movie, pretty good movie. I think it was a Spike Lee movie, one of the few Spike Lee movies that I actually liked. Don't get me started on Spike Lee. I think he's overrated. I think the fame went to his head, and he does a lot of weird things with his movies that I don't like. But other than that, that's all I gotta say about that. But that one, that KKK one, I thought was pretty good. But even in that, there was a ending scene that I thought was unnecessary. That's all I got to say about that. Roxanne Armfield says, yes, Ron Johnson, particularly egregious as Russian lackey. Josh says, I wouldn't move Mitch off the road. Bonnie Agliata, vote for our future. Donkey. Jupiter Judy says, and Trump has shit on everybody in Congress and Senate who is with him, common sense says. And he has shit in his diaper. James Williams says, Vance was recruited years before he ran for Senate. Ask about Vance greenhouse scams. Okay. Fancy says, I bet after he loses Judy, those secrets start to leak out. Yeah, Roxanne says, I hope that happens. Yeah, if the Republicans and Trump and MAGA, if they all want to fucking fight each other, let them fight. That's when you just stand back and you're like, let them go at it. Let them at it. Let them fucking destroy each other. You know? Richard says, Trucker John, do you drive those long haul trucks? I used to. I haven't driven for over, I think, a year and a half. And I think I'm pretty well retired from driving big trucks. Even though I still have my CDL, but I think I'm probably done with it. Robin M's here. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the driver's lounge. Says Robin M says, I'm hearing senior aged that I know men say maybe it's time to have a woman president. Wow. Well, that's encouraging. Thanks for that bit of encouragement, Robin M. Jupiter Judy says, we can hope, says Fancy. I've said that since the beginning. Native New Yorker here. Bonnie Agliata says, Trump will take the money and run. He is going to try to run, and we've been talking about that too. That Trump, has got a bug out plan. He's going to try to flee the country, but I'm sure the FBI and law enforcement knows that too. And so we'll see if he can pull it off. I don't know, but I think he's definitely a flight risk. For show. Rob4419 says, we are ready for Kamala to be our president. We are, and I can't wait for November 5th. Can't wait. Just make sure we all show up. We all vote. When we show up in big numbers, we win. Kimchi says, did you see the video of Trump's lackey wiping the Oompa Loompa's sweat? Gross, lazy, and entitled. Wonder if he has a poop scooper too. I didn't see the video, but I did see Hal mentioned it, and he had like a still shot of it. So I saw that. Roxanne says, Bunny Agliata, I think that's been the plan all along. His plan all along. Josh says he owes us a low-speed OJ-style golf cart chase. That would be funny. Keith Police says this Arlington incident is reprehensible. I was talking to that about that earlier at the beginning of the show, and absolutely, that is such a huge thing. And I think he's already been losing a lot of the veterans and the military folks with all of this stuff about suckers and losers. They're just a bunch of suckers and losers. And other things that he's been saying has lost him a lot of support. And now this put the Arlington fiasco on top of that. He's going to lose the military vote. He's losing all the way around. And like I say, just keep shooting yourself in the foot, Trump. Just keep shooting yourself in the foot. Every day, it's another thing. And somebody else today mentioned that he was booed off the stage by the firefighters. So good for the firefighters for doing that. Richard says, I'm 77 years old. I went from 76 trombones to 77 Sunset Strip. I think that's an improvement. I don't know. Jupiter Judy says, Robin, yes, the old me. See how they have screwed up since they have who's got the biggest dick shit. Men do. Some men do. Like I said, I have tiny Mike syndrome. No, I don't have tiny Mike syndrome. I got a tiny Mike, and I think it works fine. I'm not really getting any complaints about it. People say it seems to be really good. So I got no issues, man. If it works good and people have no problem with it, and they they say that it's okay for me to go ahead and use it, then I'm fine with it. It may be tiny, but I've got no complaints. Let's see here. John says it's funny. My phone almost auto-filled those words. Your phone knows you better than anyone else, probably. I don't know. Let's see what else we got going here. Richard says Bone spurs Trump at Arlington Cemetery is shameful. And they actually physically assaulted, someone that works there at Arlington. They apparently pushed them. When that person tried to stop them, they just pushed them aside. That shit is going to come back to really haunt them. It really is. So many veterans, so many military folks are seething. I've seen video after video after video of Army veterans, military veterans, just not taking that shit. It's not going to take that shit. Like I say, Donald, keep shooting yourself in the foot. Keep shooting yourself in the foot. There's a little chicken shit Donald. Looking like the cowardly lion. Looking like the coward that he is. Now, I don't know the latest on the debate. I heard that they were going to do it. I don't know if he's backed out again. But I just saw that meme and I thought, so appropriate, Donald Trump is just your typical bully. Basically a chicken shit. He tries to act all tough to try to cover up what a coward he is, Kim, she says, tiny mics make beautiful babies. See my daughter's picture. I don't know what tiny mics have to do with that. Anyhow. Delta Dawn's here. Oh, Delta Dawn, good morning, afternoon, y'all. Hey, Delta Dawn, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the driver's lounge. We're just having a real kickback morning this morning because I don't know, I just a little groggy, a little tired, I guess. A little low energy. Even though I did have 2 tasty donuts, but I would say I was having a sugar crash, but I don't think I really got the sugar buzz, really. So Mad Max says, yeah, the police did nothing when the person was assaulted. What's up with that, man? Jupiter Judy says, yes, TJ, they pushed the military people and the woman was appalled but is afraid to file a complaint. Yeah, because Trump will not hesitate to sick he'll sick his deranged following on people. That's why we've had people that we're going to go to court about being raped by him, and why they dropped out and hit and fallen away are because of all the death threats they get. And that's why E. Jean Carroll should really be looked at as a really brave woman, because it must not have been easy to face those threats. Yeah, Richard says Caroline from Wizard of Oz movie. Yeah, that's exactly. Josh says, well, what are they going to Sharks and Jets with the SS? I don't know. Secret Service. I don't know what. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do. Rob 4419. After McCain, the Gold Star veteran, and all the disgusting comments, something's got to give away. Yeah, well, he's losing the military vote. You know, so many veterans and people in the and active military, I think, are disgusted with this guy. Yeah, so Andrew Peachy's like, what the fuck? Grifting Arlington? Yeah. The man knows no, you know, there's no limits to his uh, just disgusting behavior, you know? Keith Fleet says, look forward to Harris Walls' comments regarding Arlington during tonight's CNN interview. This issue isn't going to go away. Yeah, this is going to be one that's going to continue to work against Donald Trump, that's for sure. Kim she was afraid of maggots. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Mad Max says, isn't that something to be proud of? The candidates for POTUS has so many thugs that you can't even hear a pro-Harris, you can't even wear a pro-Harris t-shirt without fear of being accosted. What a bunch of shit. And yet they can go head to toe in all their maggot shit, right? And you're not supposed to say anything or whatever, you know. You can wear your stupid red MAGA hat and a stupid MAGA t-shirt with your stupid MAGA tennis shoes. And that's all fine and dandy, but God forbid you wear a t-shirt that says, you know, Harris Walls 2024. Which, by the way, I need to get one of those. Robert Perez says, I hope President Harris gets money out of politics. I'm tired of living on the edge. Living on the edge. Well, if we get the House back and we keep the Senate, and I guess if we can get rid of the filibuster, then maybe they can, you know, bring up the old H.R. 1, bring that back, which I believe had a lot of campaign finance reform stuff in that H.R. 1 that even when the Democrats had the House, but Mitch McConnell, you know, the Republicans had the Senate, and McConnell just, you know, killed all that shit. So that's why we need the House and the Senate and the White House. Make sure you vote. Vote.org. Check your registration. Make sure you can vote. Let's show up in big, huge numbers so we can win all up and down the ballot. And then maybe we can get some campaign finance reform actually passed. Something that's meaningful, right? So let's all vote, folks. Jupiter Judy says, saw a quick video, lady coming out of Walmart wearing a t-shirt for Kamala, and a right-winger said, you are brave. She said she laughed at him and walked away. And pulled out her 9mm Glock and said, hey, motherfucker. No. Say it. Say it again, motherfucker. Anyhow. Josh says, Trump's bullcrap just gets bumped up to higher authorities all the time. It's not my responsibility. It's over my authority, etc. Keith Polite says, did you see Tim Walz discussing the importance of guttering? I did not. I did not see that. Hey, Denise Wilkins is here. Good to see Denise. Thanks for dropping by in the old driver's lounge. We're just having I guess just a kickback morning session here. Denise says, hi, Trucker John. Good morning. Hello, chat. Good morning. And then a whole bunch of emojis. Like sunshine, and then I don't know what that one is. And there's like love and peace. Oh, that's like you. love, peace, hug, maybe love, blue butterfly, blue heart, America, blue heart. So yeah, yay. Fancy says yay. Denise is here. Fancy says, what is guttering? That's what I was wondering. Does it have to do with cleaning out your leaf catcher things on the roof? Richard said it's mandatory to vote here in Australia. You get fined $80 if you fail to vote. Mad Max says, I found at Amazon customizable flags for sale. They only had 2 blank templates, and all the rest were MAGA 1, MAGA 2, MAGA 3, etc. I think I'm going to get one of the MAGA templates and saying fuck Trump. There you go. Fancy says go on Timu. Kimchi says, she said, why am I brave? Think about it, or something similar. Yeah, because these nuts are nuts. Them nuts is nuts. Hey, MJ Daniels here. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Driver's Lounge. MJ says DJT is the lion, scarecrow, and Tin Man, and no wizard that exists can give him any brains, heart, and courage. Richard said it's popular vote here only here in Australia, and that's the way it should be here too. But you know, these things they take huge acts of Congress in order to amend the Constitution with state approval. And right now, there are more Republican state governors than there are Democrats. So. Oliver Brown was here. Says, "Say I'm brave again, motherfucker." Hey, Oliver, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the Driver's Lounge. Always good to see Oliver. Midas Kevin says she should have said, "You want brave? I'm the gal with the gun. What you got? What you got?" Robert Perez, legalize marijuana federally. I hope happens. I had a passenger yesterday. You know what? Now I know why I slept so fucking good and hard. Okay. Last night I picked up a passenger. She had 2 stops. The first stop was to a dispensary. The second stop was to her hotel. So I go to the dispensary. She gets her stuff, and then on the way to her hotel, we're talking, and she was very talkative, very nice, and so I always tell my little story about how last year I got some free weed from the dispensary, and it was the first time I had smoked any weed in like 30 years. Because she was talking to she was the one that started this thing about how she likes to mix get a half and half CBD THC. Otherwise, she gets like too foggy if it's just all THC or whatever. And then that's when I told her my story. I go, yeah, I go, I don't really smoke weed, but I got this weed, and first time in 30 years, and I got this really total fog brain, and I hated it. I really hated it. And she goes, yeah, I know. That's why you got to get this like half and half or whatever. And then so she had gotten some gummies, I guess, that are this half and half stuff. And so she goes, here, let me give you some of my gummies. So she gave me 3 of her edible gummies. And this is the second person now who has shared their gummies with me. I remember Shania. I think it was Shania. Just a couple months ago, she shared her gummies with me. I totally fell in love with Shania, and if I was 35 years younger, I would be dating her right now. I totally fell in love with Shania. She was only like 25. That's why I would say if I was 35 years younger. But yeah, and Shania and I had a really nice conversation, and she gave me some of her gummies. And so last night, this gal, she gave me some of her gummies. And so when I came home last night, I cut one in half because she said you should probably just cut it in half or even in a fourth, just to make sure it's not too much or whatever. So I went ahead and cut it in half when I went to bed, and then I watched one episode of Resident Alien season 3, and then I went to sleep. And now I just figured out. I forgot that I had taken that half gummy, and that must be why I slept really really hard. And by hard I mean good, and by good and hard. Tiny Mike. No, that's why I slept all the way to the alarm. Now I just figured it out. That that gummy really, wow, really made me sleep good. Where was I in the chat? Keith Lee says Minnesota's governor Tim Walz shared the unexpected passion for well-maintained gutters in a recent TikTok chat that has gone viral. Endearing. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that. I'm not on TikTok. I don't do TikTok, but sometimes TikTok videos do end up in other social medias. So if I see it, I'll check it out there. I'll check it out there. Rob 4419 says Trumpers create havoc and harm wherever they go. MJ Daniel says a shame all 50 states do not vote like here in Washington. Nobody should have to take time off work to vote in 2024. I'm all for mail-in voting. I'm all for mail-in voting. Absolutely. Kim, she says, smoke again. That was fun. Well, if I do, I think I'm going to do the half TBD, no, THC, CBD, TBD, blah, 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 blah. Because I did not like the foggy brain that I got. Although Jolie says I was hitting it too hard, too fast, and too hard. But honey, that's just the way I go. I don't know any other way. Fast and hard, I don't know. Let's see. Kim She says you need at least 3 gummies to feel anything. Maybe you do, but this lightweight, apparently, that half. Like I said, I didn't really feel anything, but I slept like I haven't slept in a long time. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Kim She says, "Oh wait, that is me with the insanely high tolerance." Okay, yeah. Fancy says you were lucky you woke up. Well, the alarm woke me up. This time, yeah, I didn't have my volume shut off like that one time. I didn't have it silenced. So, Bonnie Agliata says, yes, John, sweet dreams. Richard says, Trigger John and Hal Sparks should do a live broadcast together. I absolutely 100% agree. So maybe you guys should get a hold of Hal. Wherever you can, in the chat room, Discord. Start demanding a Trucker John, Hal Sparks collab. Or whatever. I'm putting that in your guys' hands. He might listen to you, guys. MJ Daniel, I would like to sleep until my alarm goes off, but my bladder usually has other plans. And that's the other thing. I'm also on a CPAP machine. And I can tell you, and I've been on that machine for like 3 years now, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know. At least 2 or 3 years. And before that, I was getting up in the night to pee. Like 2 or 3 times a night. Since I've been on the CPAP machine, I just sleep through the night. I don't get up to pee. I don't know why that is. And no accidents. I'm a big boy. Dry nights. I don't know. I don't know, man. The CPAP machine has worked wonders in that. Now we're talking about Dodgers again for some reason. Rubber says, Richard, I agree. It would be a comedy show and a half. I would be the half, I guess. And Hal would be the show. Search for You says, early voting here with my boyfriend, True Love. Haha. Family that votes together, apparently. Kimchi says, John is a party animal, just so you know. Well, back in the day, Richard says Sandy Koufax had the best curveball. Not a bad fastball either. Barney Agliata has fallen asleep, apparently. Fancy's going to do it. I don't know what Fancy's going to do, but I believe her. Mad Max says, I give my people the day off to vote. They just have to show me an I voted sticker or something similar. If they vote blue, they get 2 days off. Just joking. That's funny. Keith Police says, what do you think about making Tesla open up its superchargers to other EVs? Well, I don't know if they have to be made to do that because they're opening it up already. I mean, it's all going into effect, I think, in 2025, but it's already been in the works for many, many months to open it up to Ford and Chevy and GM and Rivian. And I think whoever else, they just have to, I guess, ask for it, and then they have to set up ways where they can send out like connection adapters to all their people who buy those cars or whatever. But I don't know if they have to be made to do it because I think they're doing it on their own. But I think the Tesla supercharging network is the best, way better than my experience with like Electrify America, and there's another bigger company, EVgo, I think. I think the Tesla supercharging network is far superior. So, I don't know. Kimchi says, sleep apnea is deadly. Used to hold my breath waiting for my husband to start breathing again before the CPAP. Oh, yeah, I know. And I had stopped using the CPAP after I stopped driving, and I got in the habit of not using it. And then I had an incident, and I was sleeping okay. I was sleeping pretty good, But I had a couple incidents where I know I stopped breathing to the point where I was lucky. I felt lucky that I woke up, because that's what happens. I mean, either you wake up or you just die, I guess. And I had a couple incidents where I woke up out of a sound sleep and kind of gasping for air or whatever. And then for some reason, it took me a couple of times for that to happen, where I was like, oh shit. That's why I need the CPAP machine, It's not just a requirement, because Schneider had required that I use it because I'm morbidly obese, and then they made me do a sleep test, and I failed that test because I found out that I was stopping breathing like 50 times a minute or something, that's almost the whole minute, or whatever it was. I don't know, but I failed that test, so I had to get on the CPAP, and I've been on that CPAP, but. Like I said, when I stopped driving for like, I don't know, 6 months or maybe even longer, I pretty much stopped using it, like a year. And then I had 2 different incidents where I woke up literally gasping for air, and I could just tell that I wasn't breathing, even though when I woke up I was breathing. But I don't know, it was weird. So then I was like, shit, I gotta use that CPAP machine, And so that I've been using it now for, the last 6 months or so. I got back on it, and So if you have sleep apnea, that means that you are stopping breathing while you're sleeping multiple times, and that's how people die. Sometimes they just don't ever wake up or whatever. So Make sure if you have sleep apnea, make sure you get on a CPAP. They also have a surgery now where you don't have to be on a CPAP machine. And I think they implant something in you, and it's supposed to eliminate that uh, deal where you like stop breathing. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but there is that option if you don't like wearing a mask, but and all that. But um, Jolie said, "Hey, the channel has membership, super chats, and you can support the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. And you can buy me a coffee over there at buymeacoffee.com. Thanks for that reminder. I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about age. People put in their ages in here. Kip Seasons 59, Search for You 57, minus Kevin 46, Andrew Peachy 54 going on 7, Josh is 48. Kimchi says most libs here during the day are retired or disabled. Alvin Stube 59. Kimchi says I'm too afraid of COVID, even with vax, that I don't really want to work unless an office with no customers. Yeah, and COVID is still around, all these different variants. So I can understand the fears. Mad Max CPAP didn't work for me. They had to give me a BiPAP or BLPAP, I don't know, machine. I don't know if it's BiPAP or BLPAP, but it pushes and pulls air. Then I would be exhausted. I would wake up with lungs completely deflated, taking in huge gulps of air. Wow. Well, that sucks. That it didn't work. The CPAP has done wonders for me. It's been amazing. The difference in my sleep quality, and it monitors you so that I only stop breathing a few times an hour, I guess, and the machine just makes sure that you keep getting air. And I get a beautiful sound sleep. And if I take half of a gummy, apparently I get a really super super sound sleep. Uh, Bonnie says, "Be careful, Chucker John." Okay, I will be careful. Mr. Spock is here. Hey, Mr. Spock, haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for joining us today in the driver's lounge. Good to see you. I'm going to attempt this. I can't. Anyhow, live long and prosper. I know all my fingers look like they're equally separated. I don't know. Do it, damn it, do it. Anyhow, good to see Mr. Spock. Taking time away from tending his chickens. Andrew Petrie, we've been Spockified. Josh, my gigs start up in a few weeks. Josh, are you performing like a rock star or something? Bad Mac BiPAP. Okay, so that was a BiPAP. It looked like an L though to me. So anyhow, yeah, I never heard of a BiPAP. Search for You says I'm working my ass off here in the office right now. Terry S says this variant is not fun. I had mini boosters and still got a lighter version of COVID. My partner got a worse version and it was not good. I guess it just keeps coming back. Mr. Spock says, just in for a break. Puff Puff Pass working on the quail coop. I knew you were taking a break from some type of foul. Fancy says, I am leisurely sitting here feeling comfortable and lazy. Well, good for you, Fancy. Enjoy the moment. Kim, she's asking Josh where. Maybe some of us can attend. Yeah. Give us your schedule. Your touring schedule. Teria says, thanks, Kimchi. On the positive side, we had to quit smoking because of that and have stayed non-smoker still. That is a good um, side effect or whatever. Kimchi says, Terry, congrats. Quitting smoking is harder than heroin. Or as hard as heroin. I quibble. But yeah, and I'm glad I never got addicted to smoking. I mean, I smoke 2 packs a day. I could quit whenever I want. No, I don't smoke. Fancy says, don't step on Fancy. Because one of Mr. Spock's, I don't know if it was a quail or a chicken, but one of Mr. Spock's birds is named Fancy. Search for you says, I sure do miss my cigs. See, that's the thing. I never smoked. I mean, not that I never smoked. I tried smoking. I tried quite a few times to become a smoker, and it never took. So I'm just glad that I never got hooked on those things. So Josh is up in the Syracuse, Rochester area. So if you see Josh, apparently Josh is like Bono. So if you see Josh performing somewhere in the Syracuse area, go check him out. Kimchi says, I will quit smoking and start snorting heroin then. Really, Kimchi? Really? Terry says, there are still bad days, but have stayed stopped. Yeah, it must be, good days and bad days when we're so addicted to something. Mr. Spock says, howdy, William. I only smoke when I'm on fire. Fancy says, Josh, make videos for the rest of us. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm feeling really dry mouth right now. I got some dry mouth going on. In case you didn't know. Dry mouth? Did someone mention dry mouth? I'm a tough cookie. How do you think I feel? You want to talk about dry mouth? Try being a tough cookie. Say dry mouth one more time, motherfucker. I'm just kidding. Tough cookie likes the kid. I'm a kidder at heart. Just a big old tough cookie kidder. Tough cookie cutter kidder. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to drop in and say hi real quick. Before I turn into crumbs. I understand there are crumbs on the floor. Those better not be my crumbs. God damn it. I see some donut pieces here. Disgusting. Just this disgusting mess Trucker John has left. Better get that cleaned up, Trucker John. Jesus. Can't turn my back for 1 second. And this guy's being a slob. Ugh. Anyhow. All right. Just thought I'd say hi real quick. But I need to go get something to drink. I got some dry throat going on here. So and when you're a tough cookie, that's not a good thing. Believe me. Tough cookie. Oh, finally let me in. Hey guys, just want to say hi real quick. Vote purple, no matter who. Wait, no. Vote blue, no matter who. I was looking at my beard and that made me say purple, I guess. But if you're in a purple state, there's a good chance you might be turning into a blue state. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All these purple states are turning blue. So make sure you guys vote. When we vote, we win. Let's turn purple blue. If I could turn my beard blue, I would do it in a heartbeat. That'd be so cool. But unfortunately, the filter gods aren't allowing me to do that right now. So I guess I'll just be purple beard guy, but I'm going to be voting blue. And I hope you do too. Vote blue for all the things that are dear to you. Doggone it, Trucker John and I, we're going to get that saying into the mainstream if it kills us. Vote blue no matter who for all the things that are dear to you. All right? We're not giving up on that saying. We're going to make it go viral. It's going to go mainstream. Okay, I'm even going to say it one more time just to make sure. Vote blue for all the things that are dear to you. There you go. That's a good one. I like it. I think it works. But that's just me. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys think it works. But I think it works. All right, guys. So anyhow, I just want to say hi real quick. I got to find a broom. Trucker John has disgusted out this room. There's crumbs all over the floor. I need to go find a broom. I cannot live this way. I cannot live this way, Trucker John. All right, so I'm getting in a broom. I'm going to go find the broom in the dustpan because I cannot live one more second with these crumbs on the floor. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one, though. All right, those guys popped in. Good old tough cookie and Paul the purple beard guy. Sometimes they just pop in. J.A. Dickey's here. J.A. Dickey says, we are the Blue Wave. Hey, J.A. Dickey, good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the lounge here, Travis Lounge. We are going to be a big, giant blue tsunami. For those of you that like salami, we better have a big blue tsunami. I'm just spitballing. I'm just spitballing here. Fancy says, vote blue. Kimchi says Mr. Spock saw it in Pulp Fiction. What did you see in Pulp Fiction? A chicken? I don't know. Anyhow, I'm not going to go back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. Not going to go back. Not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Kimchi, whose beard are you? JD Vance? Oh, that's a whole can of worms there, huh? Rob 4419, Trump is the female wicked witch who is clearly melting. Would that be the Wicked Witch of the West? Andrew Petrie, ciao folks, won. All right, Andrew. Yeah, we are at about the 2-hour mark, so I'll be shutting off here in a few minutes. Jack McCool, coolest name on the internet here. Good to see Jack. Thanks for being here. I think it's between Jack McCool and Kimchi, probably the two coolest names on the internet. Uh, Jack McCool says purple beard guy needs a tie-dye shirt. I agree. I agree with that one. J. Dickey, re-elect President Harris in 2028. Yes, of course. Oh, Kim, she's snorting heroin in Pulp Fiction, and she OD'd. Oh yeah, I saw that too, many times. Philly 3000's here. Good to see Philly 3000. Thanks for joining us today in the driver's lounge. Says, hey, did you hear about Wells Fargo worker? She passed away for these later. They found her at her desk. Laughing out loud remind me of Bernie Weekend. I did not hear about that. I did not hear about that. Yeah, Mr. Spock is asking if that was heroin in the movie. Yeah, because they mentioned it as being heroin. And you can snort heroin. Although you weren't supposed to. She wasn't supposed to do a big rail of it. You're supposed to put that in the spoon and then light it, and I guess it melts, and then you put it in a syringe and you shoot it up. That's what you're supposed to do. But I guess it comes in a powder form, and that's why. And I've never done it, so I don't know. But that's why you see in the movies where they get the like a lighter and the spoon, and they heat it up. They put the heroin on the spoon, and I guess that liquefies it, and then they're able to put a syringe in it, and then they shoot it up. But she didn't know that in the movie. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! There's a scene in the movie where Uma Thurman character takes out a bag because she's wearing John Travolta character his jacket, and in the pocket was this bag of heroin. She thought it was coke because it looked like coke, and so she puts out a big giant long railer there of it, and just snorts a whole big bunch of it, and yeah, so she OD'd. But in its pre-liquefied state, I guess it looks a lot like coke. Mad Max says I didn't really like Pulp Fiction. I love Pulp Fiction, one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm a big Tarantino fan. I love his movies. I know a lot of people don't like him for whatever reason. I don't know why, but whenever I watch his movies, I just think these are masterpiece movies. I love Tarantino movies. Um, I don't know. I just love them. I think they're great. I think the way he films, the way he frames a shot, uh, every scene has its own beginning, ending, and middle. It's all masterfully done, and I think I just love his movies. So now Kim, she says Spike's movies are too violent for me. Uh, I think I don't think his movies are really that violent, but the thing about Spike Lee, I think he does a lot of weird, quirky shit that I don't like. I think it takes away. I think he's trying. I don't know, trying to be original and put his own stamp on things. But a lot of his style, I just don't like. But that's the way I like Tarantino, and a lot of people don't like Tarantino. They don't like his style. So it's all objective. It's all objective. Mad Max says heavy drug use in movies is just depressing me. It's depressing to me. Marie Jean Greco. I didn't like Trainspotting either, although Ewan McGregor is totally cool. Um, I saw Trainspotting. I thought it was okay, but it was weird because it was trying to show like what it's like to be a heroin addict. So hey, Bicycle Mike 42 is here. Haven't seen Bicycle Mike in a while, so thanks for joining us. Thanks for jumping into the driver's lounge as we just sort of kicked it here. Says, hey guys, I love Inglourious Basterds. Me too. I love Inglourious Basterds. I think that's a great, great fucking movie. Kim, she says Tarantino's too violent too. Well, then you're not going to like Tarantino, I guess. Denise says he's in Michigan again. Why won't he travel to California? Trump is a cowardly lion. Marie Jane Greco says Trainspotting was a lot. Yeah, I think I only saw that movie once, and it was a long, long time ago, probably when it first came out. But I just remember it was really trippy, and it was supposed to be trippy because it's about people who were tripping out on heroin. Bicycle Mike 42, I'm camping in Idlewild again till tomorrow. Good. Stay up there where it's a little bit cooler. But should be getting a little nicer now, huh? J.A. Dickey says Tarantino almost did a Star Trek movie. He likes Klingons. Yeah, I remember there was talk of that. About him doing a Star Trek movie and all this stuff. But I guess they didn't want to bring him in. William, I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I did too. I love that movie. I think it's a great movie. I love it. I mean, it's a reimagining, or it's a what do you call it? Not reimagining, but it's you know, just like Inglorious Bastards, where it's like it's what we wish would have happened in some sense. Like we wish that. Well, spoiler alert: Inglorious Bastards. I don't know if I want to spoil it, but they kind of changed some history there, right? With how dealing with Hitler or whatever. And same with Once a Time in Hollywood. There was maybe what we wish would have happened to the Manson family members that committed those horrible crimes. Um, I mean, even Django Unchained, we see this black slave be able to really perform a lot of revenge on his captors, and that didn't happen very much, or maybe not at all. I don't know, but I mean, there's Nate Turner and stuff like that, right? But it's something that anyone who hates slavery and hates that about being a part of our history, it's kind of funny, or not funny. It's kind of fun, I guess, to fantasize about a black slave being able to come back and really exude. Is it exude? I don't know. Perform some acts of vengeance. So I enjoy the movie, and I can get around the violence and the blood and all that stuff. Hey, Apple 707 is here. Good to see Apple. Thanks for popping in. While we're still going here, we're going to be signing off in a little bit, a few minutes here. Mad Max says Bastards was a good movie. I just recently watched it again. Yeah, it was a great movie. And Christoph Waltz. That's the first time I ever saw that guy, but I was just like, wow, this guy is amazing. Bicycle Mike, I love The Man Who Would Be King. Denise says that Josh Trainspotting is an old movie. Jude Law was a baby. Yeah, that's got to be at least 20 years now or something. Delta Dawn Trainspotting was very good. Well done. The book is better, of course. Mad Max Kelly's Heroes. I love that movie, Kelly's Heroes, too. Mad Max says Kelly's Heroes is my kind of movie. Donald Sutherland sitting on the tank says, drinking some wine, eating some cheese, catching some rays was one of the best lines in years. Yeah, that's a great movie. Kelly's Heroes with Clint Eastwood and Donald Sutherland. I love those movies too, and I love a lot of those Clint Eastwood movies from that era. Like Outlaw Josie Wells, probably Clint's best. Kimchi says Trainspotting scared the F out of me. Thank you for by the way, thank you for sort of self-editing the profanity. Thank you very much. Trainspotting says Kimchi says Trainspotting scared the F out of me. Everyone should catch it so they never do hard drugs. Bicycle Mike, Christoph Waltz is a brilliant actor. Yeah, and he was when I saw him in Inglourious Basterds, like I said, I'd never seen the guy before, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Denise Wilkins says, "Mad Max, my dad loves that movie." Denise Wilkins also says, "Do you have you have no idea what happens at his rally? It's horrendous." We're talking about Trump's rally. Marie Jean Greco, Coen Brothers do some outstanding. Oh yeah, the Coen Brothers. Um, they make great movies. Philly 3000 says Jack Smith is still going after Trump. This time he can face up to 9 years. Um, yeah, Jack Smith is still at it. William Jackie Brown is great. Also, I love Jackie Brown, even though that wasn't original material. It was adapted from what's his face novel, right? But it's still a great movie. I love that movie too. I really do. Denise Wilkins says some random dude just saying "God bless the USA" horribly. Oh, I'm glad to be an American. However it goes. Denise Wilkins, oh no, now this other one singing the national anthem. So apparently you guys are watching a Trump rally? I guess a Trump rally's going on? Denise Wilkins, Kimchi, I troll the maggots on chat too. There you go, Denise. Leave no stone unturned. Get those maggots. Roxanne says, Denise, you have a higher tolerance than me. Yes, Kimchi, Oh Brother, We're Out There is genius in a million Odyssey ways. Yeah, I love Oh Brother, We're Out There. Great movie. Really good movie. Mr. Spock, how's the ticker at Bicycle Mike 42? Did Dr. McCoy fix you up? Mad Max says The Exorcist scared the shit out of me, or shite. The shit out of me. I was 17, and spur of the moment, we went to the movie, not knowing anything about it. I slept with my light on for over a freaking month after that movie. I remember when that came out. I think I was about, 13 or 14 or something. I don't know. And I remember I didn't see it. I think it was rated R, and I don't think my parents would let me see it or something. And I remember hearing in the news, like, people, like, I don't know, fainting and people getting up and leaving because it was just too scary. These were national news stories. This wasn't just some thing that happened in my hometown. I mean, it was like happening all over the country where people were passing out from fear, I guess. And they were getting up and leaving the theater because it was just too scary. And I remember I really wanted to see the movie, but I guess they wouldn't let me see it. So I went ahead and I bought the book and I read the book. And I was like, oh, yeah, so. But I know the movie is much more scary, I think, because you see the visuals of it. So I ended up not seeing that movie until, I guess, years later it came out, or because back then there really wasn't any like blockbusters. Let's talk about like in the 70s. I saw it somewhere. I don't know, maybe it was the TV adaptation, or how they, in those days, after a movie ran its theatrical run, then sometimes they might re-release it and do another run, and then after that, and this is like maybe a year later, and then after that, after a couple of years would go by, then like NBC or ABC or whatever, they would have to buy. It would be kind of like a big bidding war if they wanted to get like The Exorcist or The Godfather or something on TV. They would have a big bidding war, and like the highest bidder would get it, and they would have this exclusive rights to show that movie, and they would make a big deal out of it. Remember, they would promo it for months and months and months. It'd be like like The Godfather on NBC. Don't miss it, and it would be a whole big event. And I think maybe they did that with The Exorcist. I don't know. Somehow I saw The Exorcist, but I think it was like a few years later. And I remember thinking, yeah, it's scary. But I guess I had heard all the spoilers about, you know, the vomiting, that, how they use pea soup and all that kind of stuff. Um, so it didn't really seem that scary to me. But I remember hearing all the stories about people literally passing out from fear in the theater. William says Rosemary's Baby was pretty scary. Yeah, I remember that. I didn't see that either in the theater when it came out because I was a little kid, or I was, I guess, a teenager, maybe like 12 or 13 or something. And then when I finally did see it, I was like, "What's the big deal?" And I remember that was a huge, huge thing in the news and too, about how people were shocked about it. Jack McCool says, "Check out Clint Eastwood singing in Paint Your Wagons." Yeah, I really love that movie too, and to see, like, was it Clint Eastwood and Lee Marvin, and who was the female lead? Was it Anne Margaret or somebody? But to see, like Lee Marvin did some singing too. But it was a good movie. I love those movies. Bicycle Mike, I laughed at The Exorcist. Ha ha! I laugh at you and your scary movie. Marie Jane Greco says The Exorcist redo was scary all over again. Mad Mac, I still have not touched split pea soup since that movie. Denise Wilkins says, "Oh gosh, that movie is on our Halloween movie night list." Mad Mac, yeah, the visuals were really freaky. Mr. Spock, I saw Heavy Metal at 14 with my father. Only way I could get in. I remember Heavy Metal. That wasn't scary. No, that was just a kind of a weird, trippy anime, right? Or animation with some good music. With good music. Bonnie Aguilera, it was scary. I slept with the lights on for years. Roxanne Enfield, hiya, Jack McCool. I like that movie in spite of Clint Eastwood singing. I just remember, I haven't seen that movie in years, but I remember I liked it because I remember they filmed it up in Big Bear and in California, and I remember we lived in Big Bear for about a year, about the same time. In fact, they might have been filming it when we lived there. I think they were. I think we lived there in like 68, 69. So maybe that fits time wise. I think they were filming that when we lived there. So then, it's kind of cool when you see a movie where they filmed it where you live. You kind of like, oh, I know that spot. Although where they filmed this was kind of out. It wasn't like they were filming in the town. They were filming because it's a movie taking place in the 1800s, right? But we knew the locations pretty much where they were filming and stuff. Denise Wilkins, Exorcist is a classic for a reason. Mad Max says, I love Alien franchise and aren't bothered a bit by the scary scenes. I think that the devil stuff could be real, so I think that added a good deal of realism, and it could happen to you kind of feeling. Yeah, I think so. So many people... Yeah, it's different than an alien movie. Thing like The Exorcist, because so many people believe that shit's real. They really believe demon possessions are real. They believe the devil is real. They believe all that shit. So that's why it's scarier. As far as aliens, most of us were like, maybe they're real, maybe they're not. It's probably not. Probably not. And maybe they are, but I don't know. So it's kind of different. And there is a new Alien movie out, and I've heard it's really good. I haven't seen it. Have you guys heard about it? Is it Alien Redemption or Alien Resurrection? Alien something with an R. And I haven't seen it, but I picked up a couple of passengers in Uber, and they saw it, and they said it was really, really good. So based on my Uber passengers, the new Alien movie gets a thumbs up. Anyhow, Let's see. Kimchi says, I laughed too, Mike, but only because I saw it 20 years later and the special effects were lame comparatively. Oh, I guess I missed something. That was it Mike H that said something? Or Bicycle Mike. Oh, Bicycle Mike. Okay. I laughed at The Exorcist. Okay. I laugh at you. Ha ha ha. I laugh at your Exorcist movie. Denise Wilkins says, Amanda Mac, jump scares are crazy. I do love a good jump scare movie. Yeah. Kimchi says, reading The Shining scared me more than the movie, but I was 10. So easily scared, I guess, at 10. Rob4419 says, it took me years to even watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I believe. And it's still the worst because it's about the America we don't know in a way. And I believe that was based on some true events. I mean, the movie is kind of fictional, but wasn't there actually a Texas Chainsaw Massacre person? So and so it was kind of loosely based on that, right? These stories. Mr. Spock, it happened on Star Trek. Only aliens taking over people. Romulus. Yes, thank you, Jack McCool. Yes, I knew it started with an R. Alien Romulus I think it's still in the theaters. These days, these things go out of the theaters so quick and go right to streaming. But not like the old days, like I was saying, where it would take a few years for a big movie like, I don't know, Rocky or Godfather or whatever to be shown on regular TV. And it was a big event. And NBC or whatever, they would pay millions of dollars, even back in the 70s, when millions of dollars really meant something. And they would pay millions of dollars to get the rights to show that movie, and they would just show it one time. And then they might have it for a few years. So like every year they might show it, for like 2 or 3 years, and then that was it. Then the movie's pretty much done. Or it might get shown, or it might get after that exclusive kind of contract runs out, then maybe some other channels could show it, or whatever. But it was a lot different then. Like now, everything goes to streaming or whatever. So, Raw 4419, the Stand book is synonymous with pandemics. Kipshy says, I told everyone I was a medium because I smelled rubber and then had visions. They were small seizures. So you really just had small seizures. You weren't really a medium, apparently. Roxanne says that I'm looking forward to the new Constantine movie. Oh, is that the Keanu Reeves franchise or whatever? Is Keanu Reeves still in it, or have they completely changed it to someone else? Because I haven't really heard about that, I don't think. Kimchi says, Rob, I thought the TV movie was better than the book. Unusual for sure. The Stand. Okay, we're talking about The Stand, I think. Bishop Spock, do people still go to movies? Yeah, they do. What's it cost now? I don't go as much as I used to. I think more and more people, especially coming out of COVID, more and more people got used to the idea of watching first-run feature-length movies at home on their streaming services, and so many people have really nice TVs now. And the cost of a nice big flat screen with a nice little sound system isn't that much. It's not an arm and a leg like it used to be, and it's kind of nice. I mean, I don't have that, but I have a little TV. But we'll need the theaters as much as we used to, to have that experience of a big screen and big sound system. So yeah, but I went to I've maybe only gone to one movie this year. Have I only gone to one movie? And I went and I saw the Daredevil Wolverine movie at the theater because I thought, well, that looks really good, and I like the franchise. I like both those franchises, so I went ahead and splurged, and I went to the theater. And I think that's the only time this year. Maybe I saw something earlier in the year. I must have. Well, when was Barbie? Was that last year? I saw Barbie last year, I guess. But this year, what do any of you guys remember my movie viewing history? Uh, Deadpool Wolverine might be the only movie that I've seen in the theater this year. But I got to think I must have seen something back in January or February. I just can't remember right now. But I mean, it used to be I would go to the theater like every week, like every weekend, or just almost once a week, or at least once a month. And now it's to the point where I think I've only gone once this year, and here we are already in August. So end of August, maybe I've seen one movie in the theater. I think I went earlier. I'm pretty sure I went in the early part of the year. I can't remember what I saw. Whatever a big movie was back in January or February is probably what it was. But yeah, but people do go to the movies, but I don't think as much as they used to. For sure. So what did it cost? So for that Deadpool Wolverine movie, I remember I ordered the ticket online because I have the app, and I think I ordered it online, and I don't remember what I paid. I really don't. I didn't go to the 3D. I don't think I went to 3D, so I think it was some sort of special showing, but it wasn't 3D. I'm trying to remember what I paid. It might have been $17, or maybe it was less than that. $12, something like that. I really don't remember. But so I still enjoy going to the movies. It's just something to do to get out of the house, and if you go to a nice theater, the experience can be pretty good. But definitely, we have more options now. We have all the streaming options. Like I said, we can buy a pretty good TV and a pretty good sound system without spending an arm and a leg, and have a pretty good in-home movie experience. A lot better than the old days when The Godfather came to NBC in 1974 or 76 or whatever year it was. We were watching, and we had probably what would be considered like a state-of-the-art TV at the time. It was probably a 35-inch Magnavox color TV that had a nice picture. But that was probably the biggest screen you could get, or 38-inch or whatever it was. Diagonal color Magnavox with no sound system. No special sound system. That's what you got in 1976 or whatever year it was. So yeah, I would rather see The Godfather, at least the first time, in the theater. I'd rather see Rocky in the theater. I'd rather see, any of those movies from the 70s in the theater. It was a better experience for a newly released feature film by Scorsese or whoever. It was better to see that in the theater. Nowadays, you can have just about as good of a movie watching experience at home if you have a really nice TV and a nice sound system. Like I said, you're not spending an arm and a leg. You can get a nice TV for a few $100. You can get a nice sound system for a few $100. It's not like just 15 years ago, where everything was like thousands and thousands of dollars. Now it's down into the hundreds of dollars. So yeah, you can have a nice in-home movie watching experience, unlike back in certainly the 60s and 70s and 80s and Hey, Paul Sharkey Mannion's here. Good to see Paul Sharkey Mannion sporting that nice new membership, thanks to Fancy. Paul Shrugging Bay says, hey, says, howdy, TJ and Shruggers. Hope you're all having a good day. Well, right back at you. Hope you're having a good day across the pond, as we like to say. Kimchi says, I was pregnant at 36. Something happened to Kimchi. I don't know. Denise says, last year we found out my son had acute kidney disease for a long time and never caught onto it. He's 27 now and needs a kidney transplant. Wow. Well, I hope that goes through okay. Yeah, like Kimchi says, sending healing vibes for the surgery. It must be so horrible, stressful. Yeah, all of our good positive thoughts going out to you and your family. Mr. Spock says, I saw that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds flogging the movie extensively. What do you mean flogging the movie? First thought was it was garbage. Oh, it was great. I don't know what you mean by flogging. I know they use a lot of sarcasm in their interviews, a lot of, self-deprecating humor or whatever. Maybe that's what you were catching. But the movie was great. And Hugh Jackman stole the movie as far as I'm concerned. Hugh Jackman is amazing. He's an amazing actor. And I think maybe overlooked in some ways. He was amazing. Ryan Reynolds was great too, but he's just kind of like a one-trick pony, just doing the Deadpool thing, and he does it great. He does it wonderfully, right? But Hugh Jackman, I think he might deserve an Oscar nod for this. I mean, he was great. I loved the movie. I thought it was great. And like I said, Hugh Jackman knocked it out of the ballpark. Robert Perez says, I remember watching the Deer Hunter movie back on election night, 1980, here in LA on Channel 13. Yeah, that's how you had to do it. TV channels would have to buy the rights to play it, and then they would show it, And if you wanted to watch it, you had to happen to just be at home and watch it. Or this was sort of the early times of like VCRs and stuff. Well, actually, the VCRs weren't until. I mean, I know there were some people that had like the top loading Betamax or whatever in the late 70s. I know, and those things were like $2,000 or something, which was a lot of money back then for a top loading VCR. And so not very many people had those. And then it wasn't until probably the mid or late 80s that the prices really came down and everybody had a VCR or had a VHS machine and you could record. You could set your timer up and you could record shows and stuff. But at the time, like when, like what you're talking about, Robert, with Deer Hunter, back then there really wasn't a whole lot of VHS and VCRs where you could record. So you had the TV guide, and you were like, I remember watching the TV or looking at the TV guide and like circling movies, and I go, oh, I want to make sure I see this. Oh, I don't want to miss this, and trying to like make sure I was home to watch a movie because there was no VCRs at that time. I mean, or there may have been a few, but they were very expensive. We didn't get our first VCR, I think, until, I don't know, it was probably the mid 80s or something. Kimchi, Ezekiel saw the wheel. Poor dude had epilepsy. Klaatu Bernardo Nitko is here. Hey, Klaatu, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. It says, hello, Trucker John from Los Angeles. Yes, we had an earthquake a few days ago. That will happen. That's going to happen down there. Denise Wilkins, it's a change of life for him, and he is, I believe, in shock. Still, he is depressed. Some days it's been hard for him to accept he's so adventurous. He was adventurous. Well, Denise, yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that, but hopefully, the surgeries and everything goes through okay, and your son can still be adventurous. Find a way to still be even with dealing with this. But as time goes on, and maybe you can. Mr. Spock says, I judged it on snakes in a plain movie. Sam Jack's flogging, pushing that movie bad. I don't know what flogging means. I mean, you explain it as being pushing. To me, flogging, I would think that it's about talking shit about something, or running down a movie, or panning a movie. That's why I was kind of confused. Why would they pan their own movie or whatever? Mr. Spock, are you from? Oh, you're Canadian, aren't you? That might explain it. Why you're we don't say flogging here unless we're talking about getting flogged. We're more literal, I think, here in America. Janelle Walker's here. Hey, Janelle, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on into the good old driver's lounge. We're just kicking back. I'm at 2.5 hours already. Jeez. I was going to do a short show today, and I'm actually doing a long show. Claudio Bernardo Nico says, Trucker John, what was Channel 13 back in the days? I think it was KCOP. Yeah, sounds about right. Unless they were something else before then. But I think so, because Channel 5 was KTLA. Channel 11 was KTTV or something before it became, Fox or whatever. And I think 13 was KCOP. 9 before it was KCAL. It was KHJ. And there was a KHJ radio station. But I think Channel 9 was KHJ, and then it became KCAL. I think. Mad Mac, my first RCA VHS VCR cost $1,200 in 1979. Yeah, they were really expensive. So I don't think we got one until the prices came down, and maybe it was early 80s, like 80, 82, 83, 84. I don't know. So, and when it came down to I think the prices dropped, as I remember, and those beta ones, those top loading ones, I think were like $2,000. And then, so when we got into the mid 80s, 82, 83, wherever it was, the prices really started coming down drastically. And that's what, when Hal talks about, tech being deflationary. And that's an example of that. Because I remember when microwaves were like $2,000, and stuff like that. But once they got down in price, we bought a microwave. Once they were down to I think $500, we got a microwave. And when the VCR, I think, dropped down to actually, I was going to say $200, but I think it might have been more than that. It might have been $400 or $500. And then if before streaming became as big as it is now, and VCRs and things like that were still pretty big. I mean, you could go to Best Buy or whatever and get a VCR for $50, a nice one. Back in the early 2000s or 2010s or whatever, you could get VCRs and stuff, pretty nice ones, like Toshiba's or whatever, for $50. And I can remember the time when, like you said, $1,200, and then I think the one we bought was probably $500 or $600. It was still kind of expensive. And then even just a couple years after that, they kept coming down in price, where you could get pretty nice VCRs for $250 or whatever. And like I said, at the end of it, at the end of their run in technology, I mean, I know people still have VCRs and stuff, and then everyone went to DVD players. So, but you could get a VCR for practically nothing, and then DVD players too. I'm sure those are all dirt cheap. Apparently, people still use DVD players, because I've been seeing around town here at the 7-Elevens, they still have Redbox video, and every time I see a Redbox video, I'm like, people are still using DVDs? Because I used to use the Redbox video a lot when I was in the truck back in 2010 and 2012 or whatever, and then eventually streaming services got so good that I didn't need a DVD. Anyhow. Bonnie says, Denise, he is alive. Believe me, where there is hope, there is life. Hug your son for me. Yeah. Hope, like I said, we're all sending our best positive thoughts your way. For your son. Hope that all works out well for him. Man Max says the VHS tapes T120 cost $25 back in the early '80s too. Yeah, all that stuff. And then eventually you could buy like a 10-pack or whatever, for like $10 or whatever. She says flogging means whipping. I know. But Mr. Spock is using it in some other fashion. He's using it metaphorically, I guess. And I get tripped up on metaphors. Robert Perez says on TV and Select TV were the first cable companies. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden all over the place. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Janelle says hello, back at you. Claudio, Channel 9, KCAL. Well, it's KCAL now, but I mean, even before KCAL, I think it was KHJ or something. It was something different. They changed their name to KCAL or their call letters or whatever it is. But before that, going way back to like into the 60s and 70s, they were something else. I think it was KHJ. Because I remember there's the KHJ radio station, and there was KF, but they had both the TV and the radio. Roxanne, I will never give up my dad's, I guess, DVDs. Diane says hi. Hello, Diane. Good to see you. Hi, everybody. Robert Perez, cable TV used to be so easy to steal back in the good old 1980s. Yeah, I remember people getting splitters and then to steal someone's cable or whatever. Hello, Janelle. I'm saying hello to you. Oh yeah, Mad Mac. Just about everyone I knew had a little black box so they could get Showtime and HBO. Laughing out loud. Yeah, I remember that. That was a big thing. Yeah, getting those black boxes, and I think I had an uncle that would always get one. I think he said he paid $50 for it, and he could pick up all these different, like HBO and all these things. But then I think they started really cracking down on that. Drink Record says, my brother died in 1985. We bought a VCR and microwave oven with his life insurance because why the F not? Didn't really help. But, wow. Well, sorry to hear about your brother dying. It's been a long time, but still sorry to hear about that. Diane says, good to hear. I'm good. Just got home from going to Dunkin' Donuts to get an afternoon coffee. Oh, but no donuts. Oliver Brownlow, I still have 5 working VCRs. I'm pretty sure, I was just wondering the other day, in my storage facility, I'm pretty sure I probably have some DVD players in there. And I'm pretty sure I've got DVDs. I used to have a pretty good collection of DVDs. I guess they're all in my storage facility. Denise Wilkins says, I love this chat. And TJ, I will fight for him when he can't. I'm crying. Oh, yeah. Denise. I know. We're all going to start crying in a minute here. Really hope you can get that surgery and stuff. Diane says, you need a drink. I know. I've been drinking water. I am a little dry throat. Mr. Spock, I used to record the Orpha? Is it Oprah? I don't know. My ex-wife, she kept saying fecal matter with a shit-eating grin, so I rewound the beta to count the time she said it. I know spending all that money on new tech. And way too much time in your hands. If you're rewinding tapes to count how many times that someone says fecal matter, way too much time on your hands. But nowadays, you spend that time with your chickens and your quail. So there you go. Klato Brada Nichols says Sugar Junk correct. KHJ Channel 9. Yeah, it was KHJ and then it went to KCAL. Paul Sharkymanian says, I would really like to know where the gold and silver comes from that Trump is flogging. Oh, now we're back to flogging again. I thought flogging was a bad thing. I don't know. That's a good question, I guess. They go to a gold company and they maybe they front the gold or whatever, and then they just get proceeds to pay it for it. I don't know. I have no idea. Kimchi says Laserdisc, rest in peace, before they ever got Experience Live. Yeah, the Laserdisc thing, that was kind of cool. But yeah, it would be like a big giant, it wasn't like a CD or DVD. It looked like a record album, you know. And I remember I had some friends where they had those Laserdisc, tiny mic. And well, you know what? I think my dad might have bought a Laserdisc player at one time. I'm thinking we did, because I think we had a couple of them. But we didn't buy very many of them. Yeah, it kind of like died out, you know. Robert Perez, the Naughty Playboy channel when I was 13 was my sex ed. Mr. Fox says, apparently Oprah said fecal matter 36 times on a 48-minute show. That's about that's about one fecal matter every 1.5 minutes. I think Oprah has a political correct poopy mouth. That's funny, Mr. Spock. That is so funny. Just the thought of you, you know, rewinding the tape and counting how many times. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Mr. Spock, it's a joke. Okay, all right. It's a joke. That's why it was hilarious. Robert Perez, I used to do that too. I thought I was the only one on the planet who did that. What, rewound the tape and counted fecal matter comments? Paul Sharkymanian says, I still use my microwave I bought in 1999. Panasonic still works great. Wow, Paul. That's like 25 years? Wow, you've certainly got your money's worth out of that one. I hope it's still working great. I hope it's not emitting like radiation to the whole household or whatever. Mr. Spock, read the whole joke, TJ. It makes sense. Well, unlike you, I'm not going to rewind the tape. I don't have time to rewind the tape. Let's see. Kimchi says, Paul, my next microwave will be a Panasonic. Yeah, you get 25 years of use out of it. Diane Capabianco, I gave my big pile of DVDs away to the Salvation Army a few months ago. No use for them, just clutter I don't need. I don't have a DVD player. Yeah, I guess if you don't have a DVD player. And you can get almost everything off of streaming devices now. And a lot of them are free now, movies and stuff. I mean, like YouTube has movies. I was watching, something popped up, what was it? A movie I hadn't seen for a long time. I was like, oh, I'm going to watch this. And it was on YouTube. Oh, I watched Tommy, the movie Tommy. I hadn't watched Tommy since probably the 70s when it came out. And I was like, oh, I'm going to watch Tommy. Oliver Brownlow, Trump's gold will probably turn out to be pyrite. Yeah, it's probably just like spray painted gold or whatever. I don't know. Cultivator Nico, most of the big precious metal companies sell Trump silver or gold coins. I'm sure they make them themselves and maybe Trump. Yeah, Yeah, he just sells licensing his name. He licenses his name though. That's what he does. Yeah. Robert says, anyway, nice conversation with the old trucklers, but my 1-year-old grandson, boss, needs lunch. See you later. Hey, Robert, thanks for being here. I have gone long. I've gone really long today. Yeah, I'll just leave that there. So I should be uh, checking out here pretty soon. But thanks for being here. And so, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and end the show. MJ Daniels, some of the singing in that movie, wow. Oh, for Tommy, I guess. Colorado Nico says, Trucker John, do you remember if you rented a VHS and did not rewind, you could get charged a fee? Yes, I do remember that. And I was a stickler for rewinding because I hated it if I did get a movie and it wasn't rewound. Because I guess like Blockbuster, they were supposed to rewind them if somebody didn't rewind it, but sometimes they didn't. And I remember sometimes getting one that wasn't rewound, so then I had to rewind it myself. Oh, the drudgery. Is that a word? I don't know. But I do remember that. Please be kind, rewind. They had that sticker on there. Let's see. Yeah, my Mac. Be kind, rewind. I remember all that stuff. All right, guys. I'm gonna go and drink a bunch of water. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if I'm actually. You know what? I don't know if I'm gonna do an afternoon show today. I might not be able to. I've got some stuff I got to do. I just remembered. I've got some errands I got to run. I might have to go down to the DMV in a little bit. I've got to go there to update my license and all that stuff. That's coming up. I want to make sure I don't lose my CDL, so I've got to go over there. I might not make it back in time for the 3 p.m. So keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled. I might be doing a 3 p.m. I might not be doing a 3 p.m. I just remembered about that. So, and I got to get that done today. So if I'm here, I hope to see you again at 3 p.m. If not, we'll see you again for sure at 11 a.m. on Saturday, right after the House Park show. We'll do a little get together, little hangout, and all that good stuff. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the likes, the subscribes, the shares. Thanks so much to we had Mike H, who did a like a super sticker, $9.99. Thank you so much, Mike H. And we had Fancy, who gifted a membership. And so that was very nice. Thanks for helping to support the show and all that good stuff. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Share out the show. Sharing is caring. And, you know, that helps. That's a great way of supporting the show. Hit the share button. All that good stuff. Yeah, Kimchi says Randy's on vacation this week. Yeah, so she's doing all like best ofs. Mad Max says, Auf Wiedersehen, mein Freund. Delta Donna, thank you, John. Thank you, Delta Donna. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Klato, Barata Nitko. Thank you, Kimchi, Marinji, and Greco. All you guys, Bonnie, Denise. Best wishes to Denise and your son. Thanks, everyone, for being here. It's been almost 3 hours. I don't know where the time went. I just flew by. So thanks for helping speed up the morning, I guess. I don't know. All right, guys. I'll see you guys maybe this afternoon, but maybe not. I kind of have a feeling I won't make it in time. So there might not be an afternoon show. Sorry to say. Maybe I can make up for it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a special show tomorrow or something. All right, guys. So be on the lookout. Hit your notification button. That doesn't always work, I know, but just always be on the lookout. You go on YouTube. You can go to your subscription page if you're subbing me, and I should pop up or whatever. All right, guys. So good hanging out with you, and I'll see you on the next one.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving. Who am I trying to kid? At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where we win, right here on the Trucker John. At least when I was out there driving, I couldn't he's been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't